Game day's here, I can hear the crowd. Turn on the lights, hands are cranked up and loud. Red or blue, we wear it proud. Yeah, we love our teams in this border town. Chiefs and Royals, boom a zoo. Rock Chalk, Jayhawk, KU. Hear that drum pounding in your feet. Yeah, you're marching to the beat of KC.
What is going on, YouTube? What is going on, Kansas City? And what is going on, everybody? And welcome to the Beat of KC. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Lucas Murphy, and the Kansas City Chiefs will be taking on the Washington Commanders in GEHA Arrowhead Stadium on Monday Night Football. Man, it is going to be an incredible football game. You have an AFC team that is really starting to get things in gear, not only offensively, but we're seeing a pretty solid defense come together, led by Spags. And then you're seeing an NFC team that is really kind of sputtering, spinning the wheels, dealing with some injuries, and they are coming to an absolute rowdy crowd in Kansas City. On Monday Night Football, we're really going to kind of talk about both teams, how both teams are going to have some success, what to really pay attention to, and then we're going to talk some spreads and some over-unders and things like that at the very end. So, without further ado, the Kansas City Chiefs, ladies and gentlemen, specifically their offense, is scorching hot. They are blazing hot, and Kansas City has regained their momentum, most recently delivering a 31-0 shutout win against the Las Vegas Raiders at home. The thing is, we scored 31 points. We saw Rashee Rice reinserted into this offense, scoring 2 touchdowns, and really it just opened up the floodgates for everybody to contribute. We saw Patrick Mahomes going off. We saw a lot of positivity from this offense. Now, with that 0 score, ladies and gentlemen, the defense is really starting to come in with good game plans. They're playing good football. And now, granted, the Las Vegas Raiders may be a little bit lesser of an opponent, but the fact that you shut out another NFL team really speaks to how this defense is playing. Now, one of the key things coming into this game, the Washington Commanders have never won in Kansas City, and they hold currently an 0-5 record in Kansas City. So that's something to really think about too. On top of that, Washington will be without their starter, Jaden Daniels. He's out with a hamstring injury. We saw that occur in the last game against the Dallas Cowboys. He sustained that injury, and Marcus Mariota had to come in and kind of finish the rest of the game, and he will be getting the start for the Washington Commanders.
Yeah, that's a great question, and I'll be perfectly frank. It didn't change at all, and I'll tell you why. I think they did a really good job for their team by getting a backup quarterback who I think fits exactly what they do. Like, it doesn't feel like, sometimes we play a, drop back quarterback and the backup is a athlete. And we always got to talk about maybe have a couple of reps in practice in case this happens. I don't think they skip a beat in terms of what they're doing offensively. I think Cliff just runs the offense because he knows the next guy in there. And I got a lot of respect for Marcus. I think he's 11 seasons in this league, put a highlight tape on yesterday morning, first thing we started off with, of just plays he's had with his feet and with his arm. I think he fits this offense really good.
But on top of that, the offensive weapons will return for Washington. So you will see receivers Terry McLaurin as well as Deebo Samuel out there. And so I think obviously Marcus Mariota will have some weapons to kind of throw to. It's just how much success is Mariota going to have? We remember Marcus Mariota very well in Kansas City when he played for the Tennessee Titans. I mean, that was a significant playoff game. And we have some animosity, I would say, against Marcus Mariota. It'll be interesting to see how scary Terry McLaurin, and Deebo Samuel really kind of contribute with him, plus his running game, which we'll talk about. Now, there are some defensive contrasts. And like I stated, ladies and gentlemen, on paper, when you look at these two teams, guys, the defense for the Washington Commanders, Jalen Holmes, Daron Payne, but I do believe Daron Payne is questionable, Javon Kinlaw, Preston Smith, Frankie Louvu, Bobby Wagner, Von Miller. Yeah, you're talking about some guys that are aging, but guys, just listen to the guys you have on paper. Trey Amos, Jeremy Reeves, Quan Martin, Marshawn Lattimore, and really it's just a great group. Darnell Savage backing up, Jonathan Jones, Jacob Martin. The list goes on and on. Eddie Goldman. Now, one of the guys that I was really hoping to see, but he had to go on IR, I do believe he sustained a pretty serious injury, is a Kansas guy, and that is Dorrance Armstrong, defensive end. He had to actually, he's out obviously on IR with injury. Unfortunate. I wish we could have seen him, especially as a big-time Kansas fan. Just unfortunate to see. Now we're going to kind of talk about some stats that we need to kind of pay attention to and really how this builds momentum for both of these teams. Now the Chiefs' total offense, 370.6 yards per game, and they're scoring currently 26.6 points per game. That's a significant amount of points, and that really is a strong showing for an offense that has sputtered, I would say, the last couple years. Now, there are a lot of factors, again, that go into that, but this team, this offense specifically, is clicking on all cylinders. Now, the Kansas City Chiefs defense, 280.3 yards allowed per game. That is 5th overall in the entire NFL. Now, the Commanders, on the other side, their total offense, 345 yards per game. That places them 13th in the NFL, but their defense is currently allowing 364 yards. That ranks them 27th in the NFL. This video is sponsored by DM Law. If you've been injured in an accident, you may be entitled to significant compensation. Time is critical, so rely on experienced personal injury attorneys at DM Law, a leading firm through Missouri and Kansas. At DM Law, every wrong must be made right. As a dedicated personal injury practice supported by a skilled team of investigators, case managers, and medical record specialists, you pay nothing unless they win your case, as they operate on a contingency fee basis. Free consultations are available. If you have been injured, do not wait. Contact DM Law today to learn how they can help you pursue the compensation you deserve. Let their team handle the case while you focus on recovery. If you have been hurt in a car accident, call Mike. Mike's got this. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisement. Thanks to DM Law for sponsoring this video. So you can see how really the Washington Commanders, from a defensive standpoint, is at a disadvantage. I mean, when you have a high-powered offense in the Kansas City Chiefs putting up 370.6 yards per game, as well as 26.6 points per game, going against really the 27th ranked defense in all of the NFL, holy smokes, ladies and gentlemen. Now, when you're talking turnovers, and I think that's a big thing to really talk about, the Kansas City Chiefs kind of lead that category. They're +5 to the Commanders around -5. So you're really seeing a significant thing there when it comes to turning over the football. And that's a big thing because the Kansas City Chiefs, if they can force some turnovers and give this offense even more of an opportunity to really make an impact, wow, ladies and gentlemen, this game could be getting out of hand for the Commanders. Now, the biggest things to watch for, can Washington exploit the run? They ranked 2nd in the rushing offense. They averaged 148.9 yards per game, which might challenge the Kansas City Chiefs' middling run defense. Really, that is the dead smack middle of this defense. We do have one of the worst D tackles ranked when it comes to stopping the run, and really that's the reason why he was brought here. So it'll be interesting to see how they utilize Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, as well as Jeremy Nichols and Chris Rodriguez. It'll be interesting to see how all three of those kind of work together and maybe take advantage of a weak Kansas City run defense. But outside of that, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, if you really look at the big picture, who the Kansas City Chiefs have faced on the ground, they really have not overly given up a ton of yards to a lot of guys. I mean, you know, if you look at it, Saquon Barkley really didn't do a whole lot. I mean, there's guy after guy after guy. I mean, before Omarion Hampton and, Najee Harris went out, they faced him in the first game and they really just didn't go off. I mean, the list goes on. And so it's interesting that the Kansas City Chiefs have struggled in that area, but I think there still is a ton of, flexibility when it comes to how much this defense is going to really give up. Now, momentum. I mean, the momentum is really swayed towards the Kansas City Chiefs. And that's come from the Kansas City Chiefs enter with the tougher part of its schedule. A win here would significantly help, while Washington, meanwhile, needs a win to regain some credibility. As the Washington Commanders currently are 3-4, and the Kansas City Chiefs are 4-3. So if the Washington Commanders can find a way to kind of start getting into some motion with getting a win here, it would be significant for their sustainability for the rest of the year. Maybe they get Jaden Daniels back. I just don't see that happening in this game. Now, predictions. With the quarterback really kind of being an issue for the Washington Commanders, and you're getting a really strong quarterback on the Kansas City Chiefs side in Patrick Mahomes, the odds are tilting heavily towards the Chiefs, which we'll see here shortly. Now, if Washington wants a chance, they'll need to establish the run early, limit mistakes, and force Kansas City to slow the game. If they can keep Patrick Mahomes on the sideline, then yeah, the Washington Commanders could potentially stay in this game. If they can force a turnover here, maybe a couple, then yeah, they might be in this game. Outside of that, you're banking on a lot. You really are. And the Kansas City Chiefs just seem to be really kind of clicking, and they're going on full cylinders. So it'll be interesting to see how this game really kind of unfolds and what we're expecting really from a score, which we'll talk a little bit on the over-under. Expect Kansas City, I do especially, expect Kansas City Chiefs to win with some margin. But if Washington, again, gets their weapons back, it might stay closer than the spread suggests. And, which we'll talk about right now. Now, the spread currently is minus 11.5. That's for the Chiefs. I mean, that's a significant amount for an NFL football game. But, the Kansas City Chiefs are really staged to potentially do that. Now, their money lines are currently plus 590 for the Commanders and minus 850 for the Chiefs. And the over-under is 47.5. If you really think about that, ladies and gentlemen, if the Kansas City Chiefs are able to put up 30 points alone, maybe 35 points, you're kind of talking about a Commanders team that could potentially score 10 to 14. You're borderline pushing pretty close to that over-under. I'm, kind of curious how the weather's going to be for Monday night. It's kind of starting to get colder. Here in Kansas City, it's been rainy the last few days. So it'll be interesting to kind of see how the Kansas City Chiefs and the Washington Commanders come out on Monday Night Football. That is going to be this video. I appreciate you all checking out this video. Let me know down in the comment section, who do you got? Do you expect the Kansas City Chiefs to steamroll? Do you expect the Commanders to kind of stay in this game? Or do you even expect the Commanders to pull out a victory? I know there will be some Commanders fans that'll be barking in the comment section, so let me know what you think. I appreciate you all checking out this video. Make sure you smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, and as always, have a good day.